All right, so here with Gert Strydom, and we haven't caught up in a while, so I thought, you know what, what's new, what's happening with you? And looks like you've changed gym locations. How did that all come about?
Thanks for seeing us today. Thanks for coming, Aiden. The lockdown, I think, changed everything for a lot of people, including me. I closed my gym down as COVID started, and my lease came to an end, and I decided to move here to Randburg, and we're now here at the HPC Center, and we're doing our thing from here.
How do you feel since moving? It must have been an emotional change whenever you change locations to gyms, but are you feeling really happy here?
Yes, my first feelings was like everything was going well, and we had a plan, and then when you've got to break everything down, it hurts you a bit. But I suppose everything in life happens for a reason, and sometimes for the better. I'm in a better place now, I'm in a better space. I've got good people around me, and I couldn't have asked for any better.
Well, from the looks of things around here, you've got a lot of young boxers. You look like you're starting a sort of a project, building up. What are the plans?
Yes, I'm still running my Boys to Men programs here with the teenage boys. Since the old gym where I could accommodate them. Obviously, we can't accommodate them in the gym. We've got other facilities where we can, that we'll speak about a bit later. But I'm running my Boys to Men program. It's for young boys, all from all backgrounds. It's not just a boxing program. It's boys from all different sports codes that come on the boxing program, and we just use the boxing program to make them better boys, and that's what it's all about. And as you can see at the back here, I've got some good boys. The program has produced its first professionals that's going to be in action soon, and then a lot of the other boys, they just stay on the program, train, and they're doing the boxing program, and they're learning the art of fighting, basically so that they never have to do it. That's what the program is all about.
When you get programs like this, there's always, some guys that work and some guys that don't work out. What are a couple of the guys that are, in your eyes, making it through the program like really well?
Look, we've got a couple of boys that's come through the program that showed a lot of potential. They're going to be in action soon as professional fighters. And I must say, I've trained many world champions in the past and good fighters, really talented fighters. And some of the boys that's come off this program is some of the most talented boys I've ever worked with. So the program is going to produce its first champions soon.
Yeah, well, we want to see that, obviously. You told me a bit earlier about some other plans, but we'll discuss that another time. Your role at SEI TV, tell us a bit more about that.
SEI, my role there is purely just an advisor at this stage. They do 27 different sports codes that they cover, and boxing is now one of them. And obviously they don't understand boxing like us, and I'm just an advisor, helping them getting the boxing back on national TV, and just with different people that they deal with in the industry, I advise them. And that's basically what I do at SEI, just an advisor at this stage.
I don't know if you want to comment on it, but there was that backlash from Lebo Mohuku. I don't know if you want to comment on that at all.
Aiden, you know what, I don't want to comment on anything negative. I want to try and keep everything positive as far as I can. So, people's got their own ideas of how things work and how to move forward. We've got our own idea. We look at things long term. We just want to bring boxing back, and we want to make it feasible for all promoters out there, and everybody gets the same deal. We're very transparent, and we just want to do what's good for boxing at this stage. And I think if everybody just listens to our story and hears out, they'll understand a bit better of how we're trying to get boxing back on national TV. And we can fix it up if people are just prepared to listen and work together. We can all make sure that boxing is going to be restored and have its glory days again.
And obviously promoters that don't understand how it works, from what you just said there, maybe you just explained it a little bit better, what you did there. But I mean, a lot of them were skeptical when they first came in. Did you feel that?
Yes, they heard about SEI Sport. They badmouthed us on social media straight away without seeing us and to try and find out what we're all about. But as we go along, I'm sure they'll pick up on it, and I know we're going to have them all on our doorstep soon, asking us to work with them. And as I said, we're transparent. The deal is on the table. It's the same deal for everybody, and we're prepared to work with anybody out there. We want to take this to different provinces, not just in Gauteng. We want to take it down to the Free State, Eastern Cape, Cape Town, all over, Durban. We want to cater for all promoters in all provinces. So it's not just a Gauteng thing. We want to work with everybody and be transparent.
Well, as we know, 2020 has been a pretty tough year. As you said, there's been a lot of changes that have happened. But what about next year? What is in store for you?
Look, we've got plans in place for next year, goals that we set for ourselves. Obviously, in difficult times like this, it's very hard to put a plan forward and stick to it. Things can change overnight like it did. Everybody had a plan before COVID, then COVID hit us and everybody had to change their plans. Some guys made it. It was sad to see that a lot of guys had to close their gyms during this tough times. We've got a future plan, but at this stage, the future only comes one day at a time, and that's how we're going to approach it. If we can do today and be better than what we were yesterday, I think then we're doing good. Then we're moving forward in the right direction.
Where do you sit in terms of obviously having to push the reset button and sort of restart? I wouldn't say all over again. You've definitely laid a great foundation, but you've had great boxers in your stable before, and now you're starting with the youngsters. How has the reset been?
Look, I've always had youngsters in the gym, and I love working with the youngsters. Like I said before, I've trained a lot of world champions. I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve in the game. And for me, the biggest challenge is to just make these boys better boys. And through the boxing program, the way I see them grow and become, from boys become real good men, and how boxing changes them, that's what gives me satisfaction. A lot of these boys come, it's hard to send a fixed up boy back to a broken home. Our program is to teach those boys to become the man in his house, so that he can be the one that fixes that house up. Then we can send boys back and they'll go fix up their own homes. And I think if we can do that on a bigger scale, we can fix society up. We can just make these boys better people, better persons. That's what it's all about, and that's what gives me satisfaction to see how these boys grow. Some are going to become fighters, others are going to become coaches, others are going to become lawyers and doctors. I don't care what your problem is in life. I always say it, and I'll say it again. Don't care what your problem is in life. Boxing will fix you up, for sure. It fixed me up.
What about the parents now? How do they send the boys here? What's the whole structure?
A lot of people, parents, I deal with them on a daily basis, that I'm in contact with them, talking about their boys' progress on the program. They give me a lot of feedback of how the boys change at home. I just hear good things from the parents. All the boys that's been on my program became better and better at home. I've got boys here that's got a lot of frustration in them because of things that happened in their past. But through the boxing program, all that goes away. It eventually fixes all the boys up. And the feedback I get from the parents is tremendous. And that's what motivates me and keeps me going. That feedback that I get, and it just confirms that my programs are working, and that's good for the boys. And that's what motivates me, and that's what makes me wake up every morning and come back here and do it all over again on a daily basis.
Well, give us a few names that you think is going to burst onto the scene in the next couple of years that have really impressed you.
Well, I don't like singling boys out, but there is a kid. I think he's working out at the back here at the moment. Kane Fury, his fighting name is going to be K9. Awesome talent. Super good kid, comes from a good home. He just wants to box. He's focused, he's in the zone. He's 19 years old, he trains like a world champion. I can see a bright future for him in the game. He's definitely going to go places. One of the most talented kids I've ever worked with. And as a person, what an awesome human being. And he's just a complete package. And, you know, boys like him come around maybe once every 30 years. And when they do, you got to look after them. And I'm going to try my best to take him all the way. See how far we can get him on the local circuit, but definitely I think he's got the talent. He needs to go further his career abroad, and if it comes to that, then I can't take him any further, and I need to pass him on to the next guy that can. So will it be. I'll never hold the boy back. If they're good enough, and I think they can make it big time, I'll never hold him back. I'll always let him go. But he's a kid that I'm going to work with in the near future. He's going to debut soon in 3-4 weeks' time. And he's going to become a household name. Guaranteed.
And let's quickly go to some of the older guys, some of the established pros. Do you want to announce your team?
Yeah, I've got Mike Pronto here now. He's joined me recently. Me and him and his previous coach, Anton Gilmore, sat down and we discussed it. And it was a clean change that he made. He's going to come here and further his career. He's going into the last stage of his career, and we're going to see how far we can get Mike. I know he's still got a lot of fight left in him. Fights just needs to happen under the right conditions, and then I think Mike can still win something. It's all up to him too, but I've got him, and then I've got Raymond Kapula. I've got a couple of the older guys that I'm looking after. And as I said, we'll just take it day by day. And if the right fights come, they'll fight. If it's not the right fights for my boys, we'll sit it out and we'll just wait for the right fights to come. But my main focus is on my youngsters and the young boys. They are the future of boxing. I've got plans for next year. We'll announce it at a later stage, but there's going to be activity, a lot of activity, weekly activities for these boys. And it's all about development. I want to do development. You know, when I start talking development, people run away. They all want to do world title fights and title fights where there's money involved. Where's your next champion's going to come from if nobody does development? And I want to do development because that's where I believe I'm going to find talent. I've got a good eye for it. I can see talent from a mile away. And I know South Africa has got great talent with the little amount of boys that we've got that's fighting at the moment. We're still producing top world champions. So that tells me we've got talent here. It's up to us to find that talent and then develop it and then look after that talent. Not exploit boys. Make sure that you take them all the way. And at the end of the day, when they retire, they must feel that it was worth their while. That's what it's about.
Well, I was actually going to ask you for a last message, but I think that statement's a pretty strong one right there to finish with. But you know what, Gert, do you want to thank anybody, anything like that?
I just want to thank everybody around me here at the gym. Uncle Theo van Rensburg, he's done a hell of a lot for me. I appreciate everything he does for me. He does what's good for all sports. We work with 27 different sports coaches here, and he's just an awesome guy, and I just want to thank him for the opportunity he gave me to come and to further my career here with the boys, and it's just a proper facility, and it's God's given, and we really appreciate it, and I just want to thank him very much. If I want to single anybody out, I'd single him out and thank him. That's all. Thanks, Chris.